Our tip talk today discusses the very types of technology that will make our lives better, including knowledge of where a vehicle is located. So I'm happy to introduce Giles Rhys Jones. He's the marketer who helped grow a new startup company, what3words, into a worldwide success. what3words is a global address system that has mapped every 3 square meters in the world and assigned each grid a 3-word fixed address. The system of 57 trillion addresses can be used to route cars or drones, order a pizza delivery, or make plans to meet a friend in the park. All can be done through a voice-activated app and is used in over 170 countries. During his career, Giles has excelled in advertising, created countless campaigns for products and brands known throughout the world, and we're fortunate to have him today. Welcome. Thanks. Sure.
He stole all my best lines. Let me just get this set up. Okay, we good. Hey, so at what3words, we've come up with a really simple way to talk about any location on the planet. Because actually, when you think about it, it's quite difficult to talk about places, to describe places. Someone was talking about the shades of grey building earlier on today, and that's kind of how people described it. It's actually quite challenging to do that. And the addressing systems that we have today are not fit for purpose, certainly not for the future. To illustrate this, if you look at a Google Map view of Rocinha in Brazil, you see a couple of streets, a few with some names, but then you flip through to the satellite view, and actually what you see is hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses and roads and streets, which are quite simply not on the map at all. And so if you wanted to meet, so you look like the festival crowd, guys. If you wanted to meet someone at a festival or an event, you could go, yeah, I'm by the rainbow flag, and it's really, really difficult. Or to meet someone here and to try and describe this precise location is difficult. There are so many instances of where it's really difficult to describe a location. Now, mobility is all about moving people or things from A to B, right? And to do that, you need the holy trinity of a map. So you know kind of the relationship between them. You need a navigation system, and so you can get from A to B. And there's been dramatic advances in mapping and navigation technology, crowdsourced, satellite imagery, traffic updates, all that sort of stuff. But the fundamental part, how do you describe where A and B are, hasn't really changed. So you can be amazingly fast, but you still end up in the wrong place. If I get into my car in London, I say, take me to Church Road. It says, which of the 14 different church roads in London would you actually like to get to? At which point I've got to pull over to the side of the road, I've got to twist some knobs and press a few buttons, and it's incredibly frustrating. Poor voice recognition and poor navigation are some of the biggest concerns when you're buying a new car in the States. And addressing systems currently make it really difficult and make it really easy to make mistakes. So there's a American tourist who went to Iceland and wanted to visit a particular town, and he typed in Lagervögr into his map instead of typing Lagervögr. There's an R, there's an extra R in there. And they're actually 4 hours, 45 minutes apart. He had a lovely time in the wrong place. But he couldn't pick it up, and the system couldn't see that a mistake had been made. So okay, fine. Well, I'll just type in the building name, and the pin drops slap bang in the middle of the building, which is challenging. So you spend a couple of minutes walking around trying to find the entrance or the exit. So you turn up a little bit late. Now, if I'm a delivery person, I'm doing that a couple of hundred times a day. That's a significant cost. If I'm a first responder, then the challenges are much, much more serious. So what can you do? Street addressing is not fit for purpose. It doesn't cover the world. 75% of the countries in the world don't have a well-maintained street addressing system. 50% of people who live in cities don't have an address. Now, we heard about the 30 cities, the 30 megacities. We're piling people into an infrastructure that can't quite cope. So you use GPS coordinates. You very rarely say, hey, I'll meet you in the pub at 25 degrees, 90, 40. But I don't even know where that little degree sign is on my telephone. I don't even know how to put that in. So that's a challenge. So what we've done is we've come up with a user-friendly version of GPS coordinates. We've divided the world up into 57 trillion 3 meter by 3 meter squares, and we've given each one of those squares a 3-word address. So 3 dictionary words to describe any spot on the planet. It means I've got a 3-word address here, and a very different 3-word address right here. So it means that every single spot on the planet has now got a really, really, really easy way to describe it. So whether it's emergency services or infrastructure, it's a super simple system. This is covered by one address and one postcode. Actually, you can be very specific about the entrances and exits to each one of these buildings. Now, the reason we use words is because they're really easy to remember. Your ability to remember an alphanumeric system is basically 0, but you can remember words, certainly long enough to communicate them. And then you can do interesting things with words, right? So we've put shorter, more memorable words in places that speak the language, okay? Because we are in currently 14 languages, and we have another 14 coming in the next month or so. Now, this is super important for cars and for navigation. It's a non-hierarchical system. Now, all the guys and women in the audience who like their Excel sheets, no, this is going to annoy you, because we've put similar sounding things really far apart. Table chair damp is in, or table chair lamps is in America. Table chair lamp is in Australia. So if you make a tiny error, it's really obvious. You're not going to set off for Australia if you're 5 miles away from New York. And that is critical. Every other system out there does not account for that sort of error. They all make mistakes. So we've got a free app which allows you to find and share a 3-word address, and that is the 3-word address of the Marriott Conference Center, Guitar Sleepy Eagle, and you can send that to a navigation device or to your car. But we've also got code, and our code is being used in 170 different countries by over 600 businesses across a huge range of businesses. So next time you're in Ireland and you pick up a tourism guide, every single listing has got a 3-word address. They don't have postcodes in Ireland. If you're going to the embassy of the Czech Republic in Mongolia, his business card has a 3-word address on. Next time you're at Glastonbury and you get into trouble, the first aiders and the first responders will rescue you with a 3-word address. You want to get your mail in Tonga, it will be delivered by the electric tuk-tuk to a 3-word address. We've now got 9 different national postal services who use our system. This is like rugby, but not, right? American football, something like that. They actually used us in Super Bowl 50 to coordinate all of the security around the event, because it was difficult to shout a GPS coordinate down a field radio, and street addressing wasn't accurate enough.
Ядраад бас үлсэд биш үү? Хаана байгаагаа мэддэг бол пицца захиалаад идчих юмсан. Саналаа. what3words application байхад хаягаа мэдэхгүй байсан.
I'll jump over that. This is an ad for Pizza Hut in Mongolia, because they wanted to deliver more pizza. And how do you do that? Well, you enable people to use a proper address. They incentivized it with free fries. So you could get a free pizza and free fries. But it's not just the kind of parts of the world that you would expect and would imagine. We ran a test in London. We gave these 2 couriers 20 packages each, 20 with 3-word addresses on, 20 with the more traditional street addresses on, and we set them off for the day. Now, we got a bunch of different data off the back of it, but broadly, the guy with 3-word addresses was 30% faster. So if you look at congestion, vehicles on road, business efficiency, pollution, all of that 30% reduced because of just a more precise way of doing an address. And then from later on this year, you'll be able to get into a Mercedes-Benz A-Class, say 3 words. It will understand exactly where you want to go, and it will navigate you to that precise spot.
Navigate to what3words, Cool View Spark.
We've also been built into autonomous vehicles, so IBM Watson. It becomes really important when you don't have pedals or a steering wheel that you can precisely describe. You can't go, oh yeah, a little bit further on the left. Doesn't quite work like that. So we've also been built into this. That was at CES this year, and we've just completed our first drone delivery of groceries ordered by Facebook Messenger in Costa Rica. It's all the buzzwords. They're very lax on drone deliveries in Costa Rica, but it worked absolutely perfectly. And then it's worth noting we're a purpose-driven business, and so we give our code away free to NGOs and charities and humanitarian causes. And we are being used by the Red Cross in the Philippines. We were used in Haiti to help install water points. The Mexican government used us in the wake of the earthquakes that recently hit the end of last year. And this is a project in Durban where they are giving people physically 3-word address signs to put on their doors so ambulances can find them in the informal settlements and townships in South Africa. So we believe that doing good and doing business should go hand in hand, and therefore businesses who can make or save an enormous amount of money, we charge a software license, and then for NGOs we give it away free. Because we think that better addressing has got the ability to make the world less frustrating, a much more efficient and a safer place. I've got one last thing. I don't know if you're NCIS fans, and spoiler alert, but if you missed the episode last week.
He's in trouble.
Found a hidden message in a book. We think it might contain a clue as to where she is.
Failed action skin. What does it mean?
It's what3words.
It's only a matter of time.
What3words is a geocoding system that maps the world into 3-meter squares, which are each given a unique 3-word identification. Skin failed action is 9 square meters somewhere on the planet.
You have to tune in next season to see if they find her. That's me. Thank you.